Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Democratic Newsroom. We come to you from the beautiful Gumbar Cafe overlooking the magnificent Jama Masjid in Old Delhi. It was built in 1656 by Shah Jahan. I'm sure you read all about it in your history books, but now we stand here on a different kind of battle just a few days before Delhi goes to the polls. That's right. On the 5th of this month is polling day. On the 8th is results. So this is the final stretch. The campaign is about to come to an end. On Democratic Newsroom today, I'm joined once again by our political team that's been out and about here in Old Delhi and in other parts of the city. Preeti Chaudhary, Amit Bhardwaj, Aishwarya Paliwal, Mosmi Singh, and my friend here from Mumbai, our Mumbai chief Sahil Joshi, who's been here for special coverage in his own right. So let's kick it right off here on Democratic Newsroom. I'll start with Preeti. Our branding for budget this time has been relief, rebate, and Rajniti. And the last part of it has much to do with what's happening in Delhi right now. What's your sense?
You know, you are right, because I think there is one particular class which is rarely ever discussed in politics in a state.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about the peasantry, we talk about the lower income groups, but the middle class is rarely ever discussed.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I'll just quote some of the data, CSDS data, but because the bracket is from 4 lakhs to 30 lakhs, where they've defined the middle class, it's about 66% in Delhi. And
big middle class.
Big middle class, a big chunk of the middle class. Let me give you another figure. When you go back, and I'll tell you why I'm saying it. When you go back, hark back to 2020 elections, about 53% of the middle class had voted for Arvind Kejriwal. Now, the middle class is, if you look at political stereotypes, is a dyed-in-wool BJP voter.
Yeah.
Now, when you're giving the kind of tax breaks that you have, this is the first time that the Modi government has rolled out the kind of tax breaks that they have given. Now, what happens to that middle class? Because a huge chunk of that is about the 6 to 8% a floating vote, which votes the Prime Minister in Lok Sabha, but votes Arvind Kejriwal when it comes down to a state election. And I think that is what will be keenly watched. Will the new tax slabs propel that floating vote to make the Bharatiya Janata Party from about 38.3% in the last election jump to about 44-45%, because that's a huge jump in seats as well? Or it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
You know, Shiva, I'm going to leave it at that.
Amit, you cover the Aam Aadmi Party. How are they seeing this? You know, the last phase of campaigning is necessarily more intense. Every budget is an opportunity, you know, to play some Rajniti. We've seen lots of Bihar in this, and obviously implications for Delhi as well. How is Team Kejriwal taking the budget? What did they see?
Shiv, I think there's a Chinese phrase, something on the lines that think before what you wish for. Arvind Kejriwal...
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, careful what you wish for. Arvind Kejriwal wished that the budget should accommodate the middle class and should be Aam Aadmi ka budget, and the Modi government should give tax rebate to the middle class. And that's what the government has done. You know, a dhamaka that we were talking about on 1st of Feb, that dhamaka has happened. And what do you do now? Because Preeti was rightly pointing out at the fact that 6 to 7% of the floating vote decides as to who is going to have a government in the national capital, and the past experiences 15 and 20 suggest that not only a government but a brute majority government. So will this swing voters stick with the BJP? Because, you know, I would give you a very quick anecdote. I was in Mehrauli back in Lok Sabha election when Arvind Kejriwal has just stepped out of jail and was doing his road show out there. There's a lady who stepped out just to watch Arvind Kejriwal, who has just stepped out of the hard jail. She was saying, I know this person has been wronged, it's a political vendetta, but I'm going to vote for the BJP because in Lok Sabha election, I want Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I vote for PM Modi. But when it will be his turn, Arvind Kejriwal's turn, I'll be voting for Aam Aadmi Party to ensure that Aam Aadmi Party comes to the power. Now, the question is whether voters like her will get so overwhelmed by this income tax rebate, or whether that income
calculator...
Are they going to be
floating, or are they going to choose this
budget calculator of 18,000, 20,000, 25,000 rupees savings that Arvind Kejriwal is making every family count? Will that leave an impression on the voters?
Because money in your pocket is a factor in any election, and a budget provides that momentum as well. It just remains to be seen, and officially correct. It's not even as a promise. Mosmi, you know, we've spoken so much about the Congress in this particular election, more than any other perhaps in recent times. We saw Sandeep Dixit in Jantar Mantar yesterday waiting for some kind of a debate. What is the Congress's big center point issue in this last phase?
Shiv, we are sitting in front of a very iconic background.
Yeah.
And let's start with some shero shairi, like Delhi ki basti, purani Delhi hai. जो भी गुजरा है उसी ने लूटा है. That's Bashir Badr Saab saying that sher. But the voters of Delhi realize that it's the importance of the national capital. And thereby you see the campaign of the Congress or the Aam Aadmi Party or BJP has been a lot of transactional promises, that those instant direct transfers and benefits.
Cash, yeah.
Yeah, and the freebies. So, Sandeep Dixit knows that if he harps on Congress ki guarantees, it's not going to really happen because BJP has got a lot more to offer. So, Sandeep Dixit and, the Congress party perhaps is going all guns blazing in the last leg, if you talk about. We've seen Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi do back-to-back two rallies per day. Even Priyanka today
She's going to be here
right,
in
she's going to be
where
right
we're
here.
shooting.
Two rallies per day. She did 2 yesterday, 2 today, and she's going to New Delhi to campaign for Sandeep Dixit. So you have Rahul Gandhi going to the Valmiki Mandir, reaching out to the Dalit voters in New Delhi, and now Priyanka Gandhi, when she does a roadshow, will she speak directly against Arvind Kejriwal as a candidate?
Rahul Gandhi has been doing that.
Yeah, Rahul Gandhi has been doing it, but he's not really done a rally or a roadshow in New Delhi.
Yeah.
So it actually is attempting to bust the entire image of Arvind Kejriwal per se as the honest politician who promised to bring a change in the entire politics of Delhi, and that's by the Congress people.
Aishwarya, is the BJP exuding confidence on the back of this budget? Do they feel like they've done enough? Because there's been a sense, there are many people who believe that the BJP hasn't done enough. By the time they realized that they had a chance of making some kind of a mark, it's been too late. What's that sense?
No, I think this time they understood that if they start targeting Arvind Kejriwal, and that is what we have seen, Arvind Kejriwal went ahead and said that the CEC, Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar, whatever he is doing at the behest of BJP, and went ahead and said that he is looking at, after retirement, what he will get. So BJP understood if you get into this confrontational battle, Arvind Kejriwal definitely will have an edge. So they went in the silent mode this time. See, BJP is a party, for good or for bad, they fight every battle like it's the last battle. They will die.
Yeah.
So they fight it like that.
Which is always the case.
Which is always the case. So in MCD also, we saw that they really gave a tough fight. This time, they are fighting, but it's a silent battle. It's a guerrilla warfare that they are doing. They are making sure, you'll be surprised, their supporters are going in houses with miniatures of Ram Temple. And they are saying, we have done this.
But they've got their big guns also doing all the campaign.
So that's the two sides of the campaign. One side, you are doing the small houses so that in this colony I have 100 votes. These 100 voters will vote for me. Even if I have to take a miniature of a Ram temple and tell them that pledge that you will give a vote to BJP, you can say it's right or it's wrong, but that's something that they are doing.
Amazing.
We have seen Prime Minister also, one rally after the other. He has been at it. Home Minister also has been at it. So they are making sure that they give a very tough fight, and they believe. They believe they are winning.
In Delhi, we tend to be so Delhi-centric, Sahil. And so I'm really happy to have Sahil on today's show, even though he does a fabulous show called Dangal. Because, Sahil, sometimes we need to zoom out from Delhi and get out of Delhi mindset to understand Delhi. So you've been here for a while, and this is not the first Delhi election that you've covered, I know that. But still, as a quote-unquote outsider, and I hate that word outsider. There are no outsiders in Delhi. Everyone belongs to Delhi. What is this election looking like to you? Forget the budget. I'm saying in general.
Very interestingly, you use the terminology that everybody is outsider in Delhi, right?
Everybody is.
The very interesting thing in Delhi and Mumbai is that both the cities, who are filled with the outsiders.
Correct.
Outsiders.
True.
To say it like that, and cosmopolitan cities. Both the cities were thriving for a regional party of their own. That particular place was filled in Mumbai by Shiv Sena. The Shiv Sena in Mumbai and Shiv Sena in Maharashtra are two different parties. It's a regional party. So similarly, Aam Aadmi Party filled that gap.
Yeah.
And Aam Aadmi Party became a kind of a regional party for Delhi.
Correct.
So, Delhiite who might be voting for some other party, some national party for Lok Sabha elections, there is a 15% gap. The way the Delhiites vote in Lok Sabha and the way they vote in the Assembly.
Yeah, yeah.
Having said that, what I have been seeing is that all across India, there are 3 M factors who have been really influential in voting, especially in places like Delhi. That is, first is of course the middle class in cities like Delhi. The second one is Mahila, and the third one is Muslim. Right. So let's look at the statistics. If you look at how Aam Aadmi Party wins election, Aam Aadmi Party gets almost more than 60% of the women voters in Delhi.
Yeah.
Whereas when it comes to the male voters, the gap between the BJP and Aam Aadmi Party is not more than 6%. Whereas when it comes to the women voters, it comes to almost 15
It's a big number.
It's a big number. Similarly, in the Muslim votes, the Aam Aadmi Party gets, the CSDS survey shows that 83% of the Muslim votes since 2015 has been
With the Aam Aadmi Party.
With the Aam Aadmi Party. 77% in 15 and 2020, almost 83%. Now we are at Jama Masjid, right? It's 1653.
1656.
1656. You're not seeing any digging around, the way we see in Sambal and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
everybody is refrained from doing such kind of claims at this point of time because they know that there is a complete consolidation of the Muslim votes which goes in favor of Aam Aadmi Party. But at the same time, we are seeing entry of Asaduddin Owaisi, who's making claim on Aam Aadmi Party, talking about how you did not stand for the community during Delhi riots, during CA, NRC protest, Shaheen Bagh protest, JNU protest, Jamia Millia protest, and all this stuff. So you're playing a soft Hindutva card. And Congress, of course, is picking up the similar issue. So I'm seeing kind of a similarity between what happened in earlier elections in Haryana and Maharashtra.
Okay.
It's that 15% gap is being if the BJP cannot win that 15% vote, if they're trying to break it somewhere.
I want to just touch upon the Muslim vote for a second.
What you said, this basically means that BJP is not going the polarization way. That is why you are not saying they are not going
because they know if they go by that way, because there are almost 22 lakh Muslim voters here.
They are not doing it.
I actually, because after looking at how Delhi votes and the patterns, I disagree on that account. We've got a very benign and a very traditional understanding of what polarization really means. And I'll tell you why Delhi is very different. Because when we speak of polarization, we look at it at a religious level, right? That there's going to be Hindu vote, there'll be a Muslim vote, right? In Delhi, all of that falls by the wayside.
It's economic.
In Delhi, polarization happens very deeply, which I think the BJP has not been able to understand till date, and possibly this election could be the test of that.
Okay.
Is the polarization happens primarily on the basis of class, not caste, not religion. How does it happen, Shiv?
So economic.
I'll give you entirely on class and economic basis. And I'll tell you how that polarization happens. So today you'll have a middle class where you'll put a mic to the middle class and all of them will turn around, ye kya muft ki cheezein baat rahe hain, humko revdi nahi chahiye, right? So when you say that, there's a strong, which we don't realize, a strong counter polarization to that, which is on a class basis. You could be Purvanchali, you could be Hindu, you could be whatever, the dynamics of your caste or your religious community is. But there's a strong counter polarization when it comes from the lower middle class, most people who live in the slums. And that counter polarization comes, humko ye zarurat hai.
Right.
So everything, and this you have to give credit to Arvind Kejriwal because he's been able to create that vote bank. I'll give you another difference. How you can't compare a Delhi to a Haryana or any other election. Haryana, when you were out there, the strongest voice was the peasantry, right? You hear it a lot. You hear the Jats, speak up, and there you thought that it's going to be a sweep, of the Congress. Many reporters thought that, right? There's a silent vote in Haryana. That spoke for the BJP. Clearly it did.
Yeah.
In Delhi, the tables turn.
Right.
Because usually in every, and especially during a Lok Sabha, everyone says that, BJP ka voter aake vote to zarur karta hai.
Yeah.
In Delhi, it switches Shiv. And it switches, so strongly. Arvind Kejriwal's vote is a silent vote.
Yeah.
It's a silent class vote which happens,
can I
which
come in
don't...
Just one second, Sahil. What is the Congress feeling about this, Mausami? The Muslim vote, the minority vote. We'll come to some of the others only for lack of time. But as far as the Muslim vote is concerned, does the Congress believe it can win some of them back? Because the Congress's hollowing out in Delhi has been entirely to the benefit of the Aam Aadmi Party. What both Sahil and Preeti are talking about.
See, clearly, if you see the elections, the previous elections, the amount of escalation of the Muslim votes, percentage votes for the Aam Aadmi Party literally were directly proportional to the amount of dip in the Muslim votes for the for the Congress party. So it's just the two of them trying to battle for the Muslim
Can
votes.
I come in for one small thing with what she's saying? I just want to come. I think we're making a lot about the Muslim votes.
Yeah.
Yes, percentage-wise, it's gone to the Aam Aadmi Party because they thought it as a default option. But I'll tell you why we're making so much of the Muslim vote. How many seats does it impact? 10 seats, Shiv, in Delhi? 10 seats, 12% population, 10 seats.
Seats are the decider.
But let me tell you.
10 seats will decide whether the
Watch me, how many of those seats? How many of those 10 seats are already with the BJP? Five of those seats are already with the BJP. What does the I'm just trying to give you a scenario. If 10 seats are the maximum 10 seats, by the way, it's about 7 to 10 seats.
No, but you cannot add 2 plus 2.
I think
all I'm saying is, if there is polarization and if that Muslim vote is going to go to the Congress this time, right? Out of those 10 seats, 5.5 because you will call Karawal Nagar over 20%. So nearly 6 seats are already with the BJP, which has a larger Muslim population.
Let me put my point across. The only thing that I'm saying is that yes, there is a pitch for the Muslim votes, and considering the rest of India, the voters in Delhi, the Muslim voters in Delhi, if there is tacit voting in UP or Bihar by the Muslims, I disagree on the fact that there is no polarization of the Muslim votes.
Yeah.
Muslim votes don't only go on the manifesto promises.
Yeah.
They are more literate. They are more politically smart and intelligent in Delhi because it's the epicenter of all the politics.
Correct.
You have all the community heads running the entire country, giving diktats in various states when the elections happen. So it becomes very pertinent for them to tacitly, strategically vote for the winning party that will defeat the BJP.
Aishwarya, quickly, then I'll bring in Sahil and
It's an overriding factor. I'm not saying that the Congress is pulling the Muslim votes. That's wrong. It's going candidate by candidate. Like, for example, I'll give you the example of Jahangir Puri, Badli, where Devendra Yadav is contesting the elections. They say Modi is very good for the center. Arvind Kejriwal is very good for Delhi. But here, Devendra Yadav is winning because he is one of the formidable Congress leaders in the entire candidate.
But this is exactly mostly.
No, I'm talking about what the voters are saying. The young voters are saying he is one of the formidable candidates. He is in touch with us. So there is a play that what is the profile of the candidate? If he's really strong, Congress, that's what I'm saying, has not fought enough.
No, because also Delhi, this is an interesting paradox also, about polarization, because Delhi has had no shortage of polarizing incidents. Like Preeti, like Sahil was saying, the riots, CA, so many other things. Many of the candidates in the fray are people who had polarizing personalities also.
Look at the way people have voted in Okhla. The way it has shifted.
But
every election.
But in terms of speeches, rallies, and also
that won't happen.
Yes, that you are not seeing happening in Delhi. And somewhere I think both the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal was actually hoping and praying that BJP comes on.
BJP is running a polarizing campaign without running a polarizing campaign.
But Preeti, this is the difference. This is
I agree. If you have a Yogi Adityanath who's not talking about cutting and butting and talking about Nali and Suvar, the understanding is that you cannot cut it.
So has
my one-line submission, BJP knows after Maharashtra, after Haryana and the Lok Sabha elections, every time when Prime Minister Modi said Mangal Sutra chheen lenge, kapdon se pehchanenge, it really now is used too often and is overbeaten. So now the BJP has changed strategies. That's why you have a Yogi who says no cutenge butting in Delhi because this is the national capital.
But Preeti says that the polarization is subliminal. Yeah, Sahil.
So my pitch was basically that Arvind Kejriwal became a hero of middle class who wanted a change.
And he's grown those roots also over 10 years.
But we also have to understand that middle class is not a very it's not a united block. There are 3 layers to it. Low middle class, middle class, and upper middle class. I don't know whether there is any, but there are 3 blocks. So if you look at that, what Arvind Kejriwal sold them is basically the anti-corruption campaign he had in Delhi, and a common man, quick solutions, Janta
decisive government,
decisive governments. His earlier things that the politicians not following austerity and all that stuff. this is for the first time what BJP has managed to do is to raise a question on that particular campaign, which he had started in earlier days.
Right.
And for some reason, I don't think that AAP has managed to counter that campaign well.
About the austerity
and
the
anti-corruption stuff. They are not been able to counter it properly. The Aam Aadmi Party came to government on the basis of CAG report. And there was such a hue and cry about the CAG report. There is a counter now about the same CAG report, right?
Yeah.
So that is where somewhere they have to get into something to to stick on to their core voters, like women, like Muslims, like in some areas, Purvanchalis. They have to stick on to those votes, and that is where I think they have been countered by OAC, Congress, and other people.
Has that been a problem, Amit? The AAP was expecting something to latch on to as far as polarization is concerned, but like Aishwarya was saying, the BJP hasn't walked into that trap this time.
Just one thing.
So 2 to 3 submissions out here. On Mahila and Muslim first, what we are missing out is that we are taking Muslim as in block one group, but that's not unfortunately how it is unfolding on the ground. Within the Muslim voter, you have the Mahila voter.
Yeah, there are layers there as well.
So
I'm glad you said that because I hate the word vote bank anyway.
And very interestingly, in Okhla, when I was there, what happened was that people were talking about the confusion that they have, whether to vote for the Aam Aadmi Party or to vote for Ariba, who is the Congress candidate.
He's the corporate.
They are very excited about the MIM candidate, have sympathies, but do not want to cast vote for the MIM because it does not has the cadre and the system.
Yeah, why waste that vote in that case?
Many Muslims in Delhi are looking at AIMIM as the B team of the BJP.
Yes. And
which they are looked at in every part of the country.
But this particular individual is telling me that I have decided that I'll be taking the final call. The male members basically of the family have decided we'll take the final call on the day before voting as to who to vote for. But the Mahilas of the household have already decided who are they are voting for. Aam Aadmi Party. Now, this factor counted. Second part, what Arvind Kejriwal is doing in the last phase of the campaign is that he has come up with a Bachat calculator going household to household.
That's what even
making
BJP is
these
planning
women
to do
voters count as to how much you are saving every month. Of Bijli Pani. Last thing is what Aishwarya pointed at. There was a booster dose that Aam Aadmi Party was looking for in the last 7 days of campaign.
Something BJP will do. They were hoping BJP to do something.
When
and
you have
also,
a Kapil Mishra as a candidate from Karawal Nagar,
will say something out of turn.
When you have Mohan Singh Best from Mustafabad, and then Yogi Adityanath, there will be polarization. That has not happened.
I have only 10 seconds left, guys.
I'll tell you from the BJP's
point of view.
5 seconds. See, BJP very, very clear. They don't want to do it because they know how it will backfire. And second thing,
and anyway, time is up now.
Sheesh Mahal, is something which really, it has damaged Arvind Kejriwal. Aam Aadmi Party might accept it, might not accept it. It has damaged
5
Arvind
seconds.
Kejriwal.
I think it's confusing the voters a lot, like the entire pakwans here and the snacks, plethora of snacks here. The Delhi voters have to make a very tough choice.
I just have to say one line, Shiv. The BJP, because we've spoken of the Aam Aadmi Party, has ran a phenomenal campaign in Delhi. They have now reduced the 70-seat election to a seat-by-seat election, which is difficult for the incumbent. This is difficult for the incumbent.
This is what I love about the Delhi election. It's a tiny place. It has outsized importance, significance, and substance. And with each passing day, as we've just seen on this episode of Democratic Newsroom, there are actually new layers. When we started this broadcast, I was wondering, we've just done it 1 week ago. Will there be more issues to talk about apart from the budget? But as you can see, there are. And, with the last day of campaigning, it's probably going to get even more complicated and intense. And we'll be right there to cover every aspect of it. Thanks so much for watching. The news continues here on India Today.